Hello everyone, this is Kadir. Today I am going to talk about information architecture. The information architecture IA helps to organize and structure and label the content. The way user understand effectively and efficiently complete the task. So Peter Morley, the father of information architecture, mentions we should focus not just on architecture of information but also dig deeper into understanding culture and cognition. So content needs to be organized and structured based on the target users, context and content. So IA is to help users understand where they are, what they have found, what's around and what to expect. So your IA informs the content strategy through identifying where, label and informs the user interface design. We need to undertake following activities to bring a good information architecture. So first one is the content inventory, in which you test existing website content, then content audit, evaluation of content usefulness, accuracy, tone of voice and overall effectiveness. Then information grouping. So define relationship between the content, the way user easily understand. Then taxonomy development. We create naming convention. Then define the useful metadata which aids to find related content. So information architecture brings following key deliverables. The first one is the organization scheme, then organization structure, labeling systems, navigation systems, then search systems. Let me explain one by one. The major two types of organization schemes are Exhaust organization scheme, subjective organization schemes. The exhaust organization schemes objectively divide information into mutually exclusive sections. Example in food recipes, we organize veg and non-veg food. Under the vegetarian, we organize bread, rice, chapatis, veg curry, etc. Under the non-vegetarian, we organize fish curry, chicken, biryani, mutton and beef, etc. Under external organization schemes, we have subtypes of schemes. The first one is alphabetical schemes. We organize content alphabetically. It is important that the content labeling matches the words that users are looking for. Then chronological schemes organize content by date. Best example I can say Facebook and Twitter, they list posters recent to old. Then geographical or location schemes organize content based on place. Example BBC News, they organize the news under major countries. The next, the subjective organization schemes. So in subjective organization schemes categorize information in a way that may be specific to or defined by the organization by considering the user's mental models and group the content in meaningful ways. The subtypes of subjective organization schemes are topic organization schemes, organize content based on the specific subject matter. The BBC News, they list news under topic wise. Then task schemes organize content by considering the needs, actions, questions and processes. Then audience schemes organize content for separate segments of users. Example, matrimony website categories and listing profiles based on the caste and language. Then metaphor schemes help users by relating content to familiar concepts. Example, like menu with smiling and delete menu with dustbin. Then we will see the organization structures. An organization structure is how you define the relationship between the pieces of content. Successful structures allow users to predict where they will find information on the site. The first one is the hierarchical structure. So this is a top-down approach or parent-side relationship between the pieces of information. So when you structure the content in meaningful way, the user can easily drill down and find the content. Then sequential structure. Website with sequential structures requires users to go step by step, following a specific path through the content. Example, you search a recipe, then you choose, then add to cart, then you will go for payment. This sequential interaction takes user well-focused action, removing other content and reducing cognitive load. In hierarchical structure, user may have some distraction, user choice will vary. But in sequential, it's a funnel, you go step by step. The matrix structures, a matrix structures allows users to go determine their own path since content is linked in numerous ways. Matrix structure will have mix of hierarchical and sequential structures. Then labeling systems. Labeling systems means how you represent information. This label should look familiar to end user. Then it should be simple. Navigation labels should be reduced to the shortest and clearest form, and drop-down menus simplified to the least number of options possible. Then labels should be clear with no ambiguity. So labels like information and resources are ambiguous. It should be reduced to that level. Then menu order, according to the primacy with recency effect, items at the beginning of a list are considered by users to be the most important. The primacy effect is the beginning. You remember it because that is where you started. Your long middle that blurs together, then recency effect is the finish. You remember the end the best. Keep this in mind when you structuring your top navigation label. Put the tasks which are most important to users first. By doing this, you will ensure that users are able to access the information they want quickly and easily. It reduces your site's overall bounce rate. Then give you a sense of your organization. Ensure that your navigation labels give you a sense of what your organization is about. Give little insight into what your organization actually does. The navigation systems, how users browse or move through information. A website navigation is a collective of user interface components. This primary goal of navigation is to help users find information and functionality and encourage them to take desirable actions. Navigation components include global navigation, local navigation, utility navigation, breadcrumbs, filters, facets, related links, footers and fact footers, etc. For each navigation component, a series of decisions must be made about the usage of priority, placement, pattern. So navigation design pattern best support findability and discoverability. Patterns are tabs, mega menu, carousels, accordions, and so on. Then search systems, how users look for information when you design such system. Think patterns in your user behavior. It helps us understand how they interact with the search, what result they expect to find, and what their next steps are. There are many such patterns. The first one is the quit. A user types a query, sees results, then quits. Then narrow pattern. A user types a query, sees results, then narrows them down. Then best first. A user types a query, sees results, then opens one of the first links. Then trial grouping. A user types a query, opens one of the results, open related links inside the document or user names from the document for queries. So there are few more patterns there. When you design such system, keep in mind user such patterns. So let's recap the key elements of organization schemes or XOR organization schemes. Under the XOR organization schemes, alphabetical, chronological, geographical or location schemes. Then subjective organization schemes. Under the subjective organization schemes, topic, task, audience and metaphor schemes. Then organization structure. Under the organization structures, hierarchical, sequential and matrix structure. Then labeling systems, navigation system and search systems. Hey, I hope you have learned about information architecture. Thanks for watching my channel. Please leave your feedback in comment box and subscribe for upcoming videos. I will see you in next video.